Hello, government contractors. Today I want to talk about the government contracting process and I want to help you understand it like a pro. If you are new to government contracting, this is the place to be. If you're also seasoned in the space, you're going to learn a lot of new things, hopefully. So stay tuned and let's get into it. First, I'd like to break down what is government contracting. If you're familiar with this, you can skip to the next part, but if not, I think it's a good introduction. So the US government is the largest buyer of goods and services in the world. And when you think of like who's the biggest customer in the world, it's the United States government. They buy services from anything you can think of. Cybersecurity, construction, janitorial services, software, whatever your business is in or you specialize in, whatever products you sell or service, it's very likely that the government buys your service or product. In 2023 alone, they spent over $700 billion on federal contracts alone. That's just the federal government. We're not talking about the states and cities. If you add that up, it's around trillions of dollars. So these contracts, and a big misconception is that these are only for big companies. That's not the case. 22% of contracts are reserved for small businesses. So not only small businesses can win them, but they're only for small businesses. So that's very important for your business. Now, the 6-step process looks like this. First, we have registration. Then we have market research, we have find opportunities, then we have proposal, prepare proposal, then we have submit and wait, and finally we have the contract award. And I'm going to break each one of these steps down. First, let's start with registration. If you want to work with the federal government, you have to register on sam.gov, get a unique entity ID, and set up your NAICS code. So I have a video on this, but I'll show you where you would set it up. You have to go to sam.gov to register your entity or get a unique entity ID. You can just click here on get started and you have to follow the steps. Should be straightforward. I have a video on this. You can get more details there. So that's the first step where you register your business with the federal government on the website sam.gov. Now, once you register, the next step is to do market research. So you want to see what businesses like yours are winning or have won in the past, what services you offer, what you should price it, what things you should focus on, what contracts are good fit for you. So what you need to look is at past contracts and current opportunities. So for past contracts, I have here an example. You want to click on search, click on contracting, and then you want to filter the notice type by award notices and justification. You can filter these down to what your business focuses on, but here you can see which companies won what and for how much. So you can see here in this section, you'll see the base value of the contract. This one was $350,000. So this way you can get an understanding of what the government actually asked for, how should you price your offer, and what services should you focus on selling. There's also this website by the government. It's called fpds.gov. Here you'll get more details about who won what and for how much. So if you want to dive more into details about, let's say landscaping, let's say you're a landscaping company and you want to see how much the government paid in the past for services similar to what you plan to offer, then you come here and you do the searches here. I also have a video on that called How to Price Your Government Contract. Now, you can also use tools that will make this process easier, like SAM Search, and I also have videos on that, so check them out. Now, once you do your market research, then you want to monitor solicitations on sam.gov. This is where agencies post everything. So sam.gov is the place where all federal agencies post all their procurement needs and contracts. And you'll see terms like RFI, RFQ, RFP, with which each one of them means something different. And here I'm going to break down how to interpret these. So sources sought, that's a filter that you'll see here as well. As you can see here, sources sought. And what this is, it's a request for information. So what the government is saying is anyone out there who can do this. That's what this means. Any business who can do this. The purpose of this market research. So usually the agency wants to see and know if there are qualified businesses, especially small businesses, who can do this work. So they're calling on businesses. We have this, we're thinking about doing XYZ. Are there any businesses that can do this? So your goal is to respond to show interest because this will help shape up the solicitation and get your foot in the door. Because they will use your expertise to shape up the solicitation. And when it graduates from sources sought to a solicitation, you are in a good position because they've talked to you, you helped shape the opportunity, so you have an advantage over everyone else. Then you have a pre-solicitation, and you can think of this as this is coming soon sign, so get ready. So this is a step before solicitation. And it's an official heads up. The government enforces this on agencies, so they're required to post this before releasing a full bid, unless it's urgent. And your goal is to prepare your team, gather past performances, pricing, and partners. So you want to get ready in this phase. This is the phase where you actually start working on this, not the solicitation stage, which is the one that comes after this. So an example could be you have a security upgrade and then it would have the tag that says it's pre-solicitation. So why it matters and why you should bid on pre-solicitations or submit a proposal is because you get early visibility and time to prepare a killer proposal. You're getting ahead of everyone else. Now, finally, once we're done with the pre-solicitation, it becomes a solicitation. And usually you'll see things like RFP or RFQ. An RFP is request for proposal and RFQ is a request for quote. So this is the real deal. And now you have to submit a proposal now. So as I mentioned, there's an RFP and RFQ. And then the purpose is the official contract opportunity. It has all the requirements, the forms, the due dates, the evaluation criteria. And your goal is to read the full statement of work and follow the instructions and submit a proposal. Now we are done understanding the different types. Now we are ready to bid on a solicitation or a pre-solicitation. And there where you have to submit a proposal. So you have to follow the instruction exactly like they're mentioned in the instructions of the solicitation, including submission criteria, formatting, form, content, all these things you have to follow to the T to make sure you don't miss on winning a government contract because of a small minor requirement. What you want to include in most cases is your past performances, your capabilities. If they're asking for pricing, you have to include the pricing. And if they have compliance requirements, you have to fulfill those. You also have to mention that in your proposal. That's what usually a proposal looks like. You have executive summary, then you have explanation that you understand the requirements. You mention your past performances and capabilities. You have a section about your pricing. If there are any compliance requirements like a set aside or whatnot, you mention that you have those, and that's it pretty much. Now, once you submit your proposal, and the way you submit it, in most cases, you send it by email to the contracting officer, and the contracting officer is mentioned at the bottom, I think here, but this information usually is available in the solicitation. It will tell you how to submit, where to submit, who to send the email to. But I'm saying in most cases, you just do it by email. But depending on the requirements, it might differ. And then you'll have to wait. You either win, lose, or get invited for negotiation or revision. What I would like to do is, even if I lose, I'd like to get more information, follow up, ask what could have been, who won this, so I could improve my bid for the next time. Now, if you win, congrats. Now it's time to deliver exactly what you promised. So if you're promised a service over a period of time, you have to perform it, and whatever the service is, if you have to sell a product, you have to deliver with the exact specification that you promised. And then you have to follow up on invoicing and reporting. So these are the 6 main steps of the process. Now I'm going to show you some strategies for winning your first government contract. So starting small increases your chances of success, and building relationships is key. So you want to go for small contracts. And what I mean by that, you don't have to go for the $1 million contract from the get-go. You can go after smaller contracts that are set aside for small businesses or women-owned businesses. So you know that you're competing with businesses your size. You want to build a relationship. If there's a specific agency that posts a lot of contracts similar to what you offer as a business, then reach out to them. If they have any sort of industry days or they have any sort of events, make sure to attend so they know your face, they know your name. When they see a bid coming to them from you, they know who they're talking, they know who they received it from. So this way you build kind of relationship and trust. Finally, be consistent. If you're spending most of your time researching and not bidding, then you're not really doing this correctly. You have to bid on as many opportunities as your business qualifies for, because if you don't win the first one, there's a higher chance of winning the second one because you're improving with the process. So make sure you're not procrastinating by thinking you're doing a lot of research. And that gets me to my next step. Utilize all the tools to make this simple for you. So if you are spending a lot of time finding government contracts, understanding government contracts, writing proposals, then it's going to be a hectic process for you. What you want is you want to utilize tools to make this process easy for you. What I think is a good platform is SAM Search. It lets you find opportunities on a federal and state level with ease. It gives you AI-generated summaries so you can quickly make bid, no-bid decisions. It helps you break down solicitations with AI, so you're not reading long documents, but you're just chatting with the documents and you're getting all the information you want with ease. And then once you want to submit a proposal and generate one, It will help you do that with AI. So you're not spending a lot of time researching and writing proposals. You're just on the go trying to see what's a good fit for your business, finding that contract and submitting a bid for. I hope this was helpful. Wish you best of luck with your government contracting journey. Make sure to try samsearch.co if you want to make your government contracting life easier. I'll have a link in the comments and description. Thank you and see you soon.